What is going on, you guys? Happy Monday. My name is Rayge, and we are back today with an overview video on the best teams that we can utilize for the Doom 3.5 raids, which nodes are really simmable, and as well the teams and characters that you should be focused on if you are planning to partake in this game mode. So one of the most important game modes, obviously, in this game, just because of the fact that it heavily rewards us in terms of the teal gear needed to bring your characters up to gear 16 and beyond. But as well, it's one of the modes in the game I think rewards you the most from a daily perspective, being involved with your alliance. So knowing which teams of these are the best to utilize, as well as the synergies, and saving you guys a bit of time too to know which nodes are simmable. So don't worry, guys, I have all these teams utilized and saved already, but I'm gonna be providing you a summary sheet at the very end of this video, so that way you know which node specifically you can sim, and respectively which teams you can utilize to do that. So specifically with my alliance, I start on the left side. So typically, guys, I start off with skill, progressing through bio, followed by tech, mystic, and then finally wrapping things up with the mutant characters there. So that's exactly how we're going to break down this team breakdown, as well as the recommendations. So starting top off here, guys, we have the Secret Avengers here mixed in with Shang-Chi and Kestro. When they first came into the game, that synergy, they were pretty much the only options to utilize in skill. And I am glad to say, if you're using the similar power level here, the 1,000,007,862, anything beyond that, I mean, this team still gets the job done actually for each of the nodes. So that includes nodes 1, nodes 2, and as well the boss node. But I caution you guys, none of those nodes are simmable. So you are using this team and you're not looking to build up the invaders. They're a team that needs to be played manually, and you do need to know exactly the strategy in terms of how to get through each node. I've made some videos on that as well, guys. So just a heads up, you need to know how to play this team and as well as the node in order to utilize all 5 if you do not want to bring up obviously the invaders. Now, the Invaders team here, obviously the reworks here to Nick Fury, but Captain America World War II, Iron Fist, Union Jack, as well as Bucky Barnes World War II. I mean, this is a phenomenal team, guys. I mean, this 626k total team, I can use all 5 of them, and I can sim all 3 nodes. So nodes 1, nodes 2, and the boss node. If you have them built up at this power level, even in the hardest difficulty of Doom, you can actually, in fact, sim all the nodes. So one of the frustrating sections of the Doom raids have become the easiest thanks to this meta team that has come about. So if you guys don't have all characters, there is an option too. You don't need to have all 5 to actually get through it. Previously, before, when I did not have Iron Fist World War II, so to the far right, I also didn't have aspects of Bucky Barnes. You can still get the job done with Union Jack, Nick Fury, World War II Captain America, as well as aspects of the previous team we mentioned. So I personally recommend Captain America Sam, and as well as Kestro being great slotting characters if you don't have the full invaders. But I mean, they still got the job done. But again, if you are using that hybrid with the invaders and the Secret Avengers / Kestro, you are going to still need to know how to play the node, and you won't have the full synergy, obviously, of the invaders. And that pretty much gets the job done, guys. Next up, we have the bio node. So this is, in my honest opinion as well, probably the second most frustrating section of the game if you don't have the characters built up. And it's kind of funny because I imagine most players are going to have quite a few categories of different teams, just because of the way that, you know, the symbiotes came about. We had Web Warriors, we have Gamma being naturally slotted in just because they're all bio, and Gamma is needed for Apocalypse. So a lot of folks will likely have a lot of these different teams built up. And don't forget, Rebirth recently came out as well, being you know, the previous team prior to Invaders. So I mean, they're both really pivotal pieces. Which one works, which one doesn't work? So starting things off, Web Warriors. So that's the 5 that you see, the OG here, right? Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Spider-Man Punk, Spider-Ghost, and as well as Scarlet Spider. All 5 of them, you know, you can utilize them for aspects of the Scourges. They're actually needed in nodes 5 and nodes 10. Respectively for the Pestilence. But I mean, you don't need them built up too high if you just want to unlock her. But they were originally going to be the best raid team for the bio, but they quickly kind of grew out of the meta in terms of honestly just the stats and the synergies required for the enemies that they're up against. Those nodes are built to be against them, right? So it's kind of a toss, guys. Nodes 1, I have had luck actually being able to sim them with these 5 characters, Node 1. But as well, if you guys don't have any other teams built up, Nodes 2 is going to be absolutely brutal. So previously, before, I actually used the tandem of the Web Warriors with Gamma to get through it previously, prior to Rebirth obviously coming into play here. But Web Warriors typically don't have issues with Node 1. I would not recommend simming. They can do it. I've done it before, but I wouldn't recommend it. And then I use them as a tag team with the Gamma team here to take down Node 2. Usually I have to do some refreshes, and then it's going to be usually Web Warriors assisting the rest of your alliance to clean up that boss node. So both of these teams typically can't get the job done without each other, so I would not recommend them as a solo team. For the bio nodes, you'll likely have to either revive your Web Warriors or push through Gamma. I do have to say though, guys, with Gamma team, because with them likely higher and being needed for Apocalypse, for me personally, Gamma has no issues going through Nodes 1. Gamma typically is the one I utilize for Nodes 2 before to start things off to do a dent, and then I'll clean up with the Web Warriors, and then I'll bring in my Web Warriors for the boss node. Everything changed, however, with Rebirth coming. So Rebirth can handle almost all the nodes, and I couldn't do them this current power level, but they are proven to be a team that can sim all 3 nodes. But I urge that. I'm gonna check it off in my summary here that you can sim with this, but not at this power level, guys. So if you have a Rebirth team around this 680, 700k mark, you'll likely need them a bit higher in order to sim all 3 nodes, especially most notably that node 2 where there's a lot going on and you need to know the abilities just right to cancel out certain characters. And then the boss node, same thing, right? With that Icarus Cersei combination as well as Silver Surfer. I personally feel better when I'm just manually playing those 2, but let the record show that this team, the Rebirth, can actually in fact sim all 3 nodes if you have them built up high enough. Moving on, guys, tech nodes. So with tech nodes, Bionic Avengers coming out, they were basically going to be the answer for the tech nodes because of the fact that it's just such a hard section, and we were just really using a lot of hybrid synergy teams, as you see below it, with Kestro, T'Challa, Doctor Doom, Lady Deathstrike, and Shuri to get through it. But Bionic Avengers, I actually would not recommend, even though they are the top recommendation for the tech nodes, I would not recommend them being used at all from a sim perspective. So make sure you're manually playing it. The reason being is because they have really big cooldowns, and you need to manage their abilities correctly in order to get through it. Bionic Avengers can one-shot all 3 nodes, but you need to play them right in order to do that. And no, unfortunately, you can't sim the nodes. Even with this team right now, 830k, I can't do it. So and again, just context as well, I'm doing Doom 3.5. So can you likely do a lower level, maybe Doom 3? Just a starting level, or Doom 3.1 with this team, it may be simmable just because of that confidence you get with the increases here. But I probably need them higher to sim it. But there's just so much going on, and you want to make sure the cooldowns are ready. I wouldn't recommend it. If you guys don't have Bionic Avengers, Kestro, T'Challa, Doctor Doom, Lady Deathstrike, and Shuri, these were the makeshift characters I was using before, and they were able to slug through the nodes, but you really did need your alliance to assist where needed, especially the boss node. So just context there, guys. Just be careful. If you don't have Bionic Avengers, it's really tough to get through the tech section. You might need some assistance from obviously your teammates and so forth, and some revives definitely needed. But otherwise, you can really slug through it with Bionic Avengers and making sure that you're manually playing it, not simming. Next up, guys, we have the Mystic section. So I absolutely love this section once I have the right characters and synergies built, because really the only node you should be playing is the boss node. So if you guys have the full-on Darkhold team built up here, they can easily sim node 1. Actually, I would even argue that this Icarus, the Cersei combination with Deathpool, Spireweaver, and Dormammu, they can probably sim node 1 as well, but I actually use them to sim node 2 to set up Deathpool's charges. So what I typically do is for node 1, I bring in my Darkhold, sim it, it's good. Then I bring in my B team here to sim the second node. It sets my Deathpool's charges at 5. And then I start things off with the boss node with Deathpool, the same team here, because she has the 5 charges that can wipe out Dormammu. and then it's just a very, very easy experience for that boss node once Dormammu's down, and you can keep rinsing and repeating the Eternals combination with Deathpool granting them energy, and obviously getting a revive from Dormammu and Spider Weaver dodging damage is really big. So Mystic is usually the easiest, but these two teams is what makes it easy. If you guys only have Darkhold, you likely will have to revive a couple of times, maybe mix it in with some with another B team that includes Eternals, just because they can flip everything. But otherwise, Mystic is usually one of the easiest parts of Doom. Just a heads up, these are the teams you should be going for, as most of these characters are going to have value in the end game, and especially with Spider Weaver and Deathpool being required for Apocalypse. Same with Darkhold, and then Dormammu is really just a hard one to get there. Eternals are used everywhere. And then last but not least, guys, mutants. So for the mutant section here, honestly speaking, the Astonishing X-Men did the job before, because we didn't actually have a mutant team before, but man, did it require a lot of understanding of the nodes. You needed these guys built up crazily. As you can see, I actually didn't build up my Astonishing X-Men up until the moment that that we had actually the Def Seed team released, and then thankfully I dodged that bullet of investing in characters I didn't need. Probably players will have Unlimited X-Men team built here as well, just to kind of soak up damage, to kind of synergize with Astonishing. And these two teams can be potentially used together if you have them already invested to get through Doom 3.5. But if you guys are watching this video and you haven't invested in these two teams yet, but you know Unlimited is need for Apocalypse, obviously, the go-to team is without a doubt Def Seed. Def Seed, you can probably sim all three nodes. I wouldn't recommend it for the boss node, just because I always like to be a little bit more cautious on that. But it's the boss node. Your alliance mates are probably going to attack it as well. So this team can usually, even at 914k for Doom 3.5, I'm able to sim the majority of the nodes. And even if I fail on my boss node there, usually it's my alliance that cleans up. So personally, guys, I don't recommend simming the last node, but I do know it is possible if you guys have them built up. That said, here is the summary, and as I noted earlier, keep in mind everything I've projected here is based on if you do have higher level character teams, because they were built it, but you can see kind of where they fall, and I left out the Unlimited and Astonishing at the end there just because I personally wouldn't recommend building them up for the Doom raids, but keep in mind too, Unlimited X-Men likely will be built up if you guys are going for Apocalypse, but the go-to team is in fact Def Seed, as they will 100% get the job done. And obviously you want to invest your gear where it's needed. So there you guys have it, a breakdown there of the 5 different sections in the game, the recommended teams, and like I said, this is kind of what you want to be striving for in terms of what to build if you can. And obviously there's going to be some clear winners, right? Invaders being part of skill, Rebirth being part of bio, Bionic Avengers is the only answer for tech. The mixture of Darkhold and the Dorm Weaver Deathpool combination with Eternals is absolutely huge. But again, I wouldn't recommend simming the boss node. It's just gonna be a wasted attack. It's really hard to get through with a boss node sim there. And then lastly, Def Seed, like I said, they should be able to sim all of it, but I left out the boss node because I personally think it's just one of the harder ones in terms of navigating, and sometimes the AI doesn't do what we intend, right? So there you guys have it. I hope this helps you kind of simulate in terms of, you know, at the end of the day, which characters and teams can be best used for your gear investment, but as well where you can save a bit of time knowing which nodes can be simmable and which ones are recommended to be played out for sure. Let me know if this helps, guys. I always appreciate hearing back. Thank you as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.